Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
We're learning more this afternoon about Ulises Villalobos. He's the suspect behind an incident involving a Bismarck police officer yesterday, resulting in a blue alert warning to be sent throughout the state. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emily Young. The Bismarck Police Department also say the 2002 Subaru Legacy Outback and a tall Hispanic male that Villalobos was supposed to be with have not yet been located. The Brookings, South Dakota Police Department say Villalobos turned himself in at a gas station in town around 10 last night. A sheriff's deputy was called to the gas station on Lefevre Drive. When he got there, he saw Villalobos behind the counter with a gunshot wound to his left arm. He was taken to a local hospital. It all started around 11 a.m. yesterday when Bismarck police officers were assisting on a probation check when Villalobos took off in his vehicle and attempted to run over an officer. The officer then fired shots at the vehicle. Villalobos got away and was spotted heading east out of Bismarck. That's when the decision was made to issue a statewide blue alert. The blue alert confused a lot of people, and after we started demanding answers, state officials started apologizing. The notification, which is much like an Amber Alert, was sent region-wide, but there was no information attached about what was going on. A second alert issued directed people to seek out local media for an explanation last night. A State Department of Emergency official appeared on Point of View with Chris Berg and apologized for the stress and panic that it generated.
Sorry for the angst that this caused people. We are part of the process working with law enforcement and BCI to get this message out there. And as part of that process, we certainly have a right and obligation to weigh in to make sure that we get the best possible information out there the first time.
We will, of course, be following this story for you throughout the day, so stick with Valley News Live for much more. Now at noon, Fargo police say a runaway teen from Williston may be in the Fargo area. A picture of him is on your screen right now. Dayton Murphy was last seen wearing a black shirt, tan pants, white shoes, and a black baseball cap. Murray is 16 years old, about 5'9" and 150 pounds. He has brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information as to his whereabouts, please call Fargo Police Dispatch at 451-7660. And it's another mild January afternoon. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green to find out how long this will last. Lisa, we only want to hear good news from you.
Well, I've got some really great news. We've shot up to 40 degrees in Grand Forks, so we are looking very mild. In fact, that 40-degree number, that breaks a record. The old record was 38 degrees, and that was set back in 1991. So we're already breaking records at the noon hour, and those temperatures will likely climb a little bit more this afternoon. It's 35 degrees in Fargo, 37 in Detroit Lakes, 41 in Jamestown as well, and Sisseton, the warm spot, at 46 degrees right now, so very warm. Now, if you've been checking your Valley News Live weather app and you're maybe seeing a lot of green showing up there and not really seeing it actually produce anything, well, we do have some moisture in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, but as it's falling, it's drying up a little bit. So we're not really seeing much in the way of this rain, though you could get a little bit of sprinkle activity underneath some of these clouds, and we'll end up on the mostly cloudy side through the rest of the afternoon. I'm hoping we'll get some breaks and get a little bit of sunshine, but we're looking to be mostly cloudy here today. I think we'll put up with that as long as we've got those temperatures well into the 30s. Just be aware it's going to be slushy out there for this afternoon and this evening. And when I come back, we'll talk about just how long this will last, coming up in just a bit.
Okay, I guess cloudy it is. A woman charged for shooting at officers during the Dakota Access Pipeline protest is back in custody. Red Fawn Flores was arrested in Fargo by U.S. Marshals last night for violating terms of her pretrial release agreement. She is scheduled to appear in court Monday to plead guilty to civil disorder and gun possession under a plea deal. The North Dakota Highway Patrol is investigating a car crash that killed 2 women in Grand Forks County. It happened just before 11 a.m. on Highway 15, about 12 miles west of Thompson. Troopers say 2 vehicles were going around a curve when one driver crossed the center lane. The vehicles hitting head on. Authorities are not releasing the names of the women killed at this time, but say they were 59 and 97 years old. The drivers of the vehicles were also hurt in the crash. And it's Friday, which means it's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say Evan Patrick McMaster is wanted for probation violation on a possession of a methamphetamine charge. Call your local law enforcement if you have any information on McMaster. North Dakota state officials say 2 more people have died of flu-related complications in the state. That brings the number of flu deaths so far this season to 10. The health department says there were 619 flu cases reported last week in North Dakota, bringing the total seasonal cases to 2,520. 145 people have been hospitalized because of the flu. The widespread flu strain H3N2 can be especially hard on children and the elderly. Health officials predict the flu vaccine will be about 30% effective this year. And it's no secret that Carson Wentz has brought a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan base here to the Valley. But now that he's out for the playoffs, are those fans holding true? With the upcoming game this weekend between the Eagles and the Vikings, sports director Beth Houle wants to know, will you be wearing purple or green?
North Dakotans are notoriously tough. Just ask John Gruden. It got to 45 below this winter, and that's before the wind chill.
It's colder than a polar bear's nose.
Fargo has already spent 22 days unable to climb out of the negatives.
With wind chills approaching 40 below.
The struggle is real, but nothing could prepare North Dakota for this latest struggle.
This is the game I've been waiting for all season, the Eagles against the Vikings.
For a state that doesn't have its own NFL franchise, North Dakota has had it good, especially this year. The Eagles and the Vikings, a combined 26-6. Life has been real good until now.
And I can't pick between Carson and the Vikings, so it's a little easier this time.
For some, no Carson means no problem.
Sadly, yeah, I would have been torn had Carson been playing, because that just would have been a fun game to watch.
Despite the recent surge of midnight green across North Dakota, it seems deep down they remain purple at heart.
If we were playing the Eagles and Wentz was playing, I'd want Wentz to throw for 1,000 yards and every receiver fumble after every catch.
A lifetime of heartbreak has Vikings fans pulling for the ultimate fairy tale this year, but maybe the next generation will be a completely different breed.
I think I will wear a Eagles hat and a Vikings shirt.
The Hy-Vee in Sioux Falls, South Dakota found a unique way to cheer on the Minnesota Vikings. Take a look at this. Employees at the Wine and Spirits decided to add purple dye to their Grain Belt beer. It's all just for show and for color, as the dye has no flavor to it. You may have heard the Minnesota Vikings signature chant, which is skull, meaning cheers. This chant is made all the better by this purple beer. Winter can be tough on our skin, but there are some ways to find relief. Ahead at noon, some moisturizing advice from the expert at Consumers Reports. But next, we'll get a check of your weekend forecast with Lisa Green.